All right, Taurus. So this one I have not seen in quite a while. But for me, it kind of takes on a little bit of a different meaning. So from like Vampire, you pulled death rites, saying goodbye, formal occasion, and honoring lives. And then you pulled acceptance from Chakra Wisdom. So now with death rites, absolutely, it's about honoring the lives of those we have loved and lost. But looking at it in connection to acceptance, for me, it kind of changes it. So I also look at death rates and think, this is also about people who come into our lives, teach us an important lesson, and never return. Which could definitely be, about soulmates that come in, put you back on your right course, and then they're gone, right? Or it could be about somebody that came through and made you feel less than worthy here with acceptance. And with death rates, it's like they're not coming back, but it's looking at it now and looking at the experience and what they have taught you and saying, you know what, thanks for the lesson, got it, right? Now with acceptance, with death rates and then looking at acceptance, I mean, yeah, absolutely, for those of you who have lost loved ones, I'm right there with you, right? And needing to accept that loss. But I don't think that that's it, because this card very specifically is about needing to accept yourself. It's about looking at your reality in a distorted way that's self-defeating and thinking that there is something wrong with you when there isn't, right? So, again, I look back at death rates and I think, all right, Taurus, here is your overall for the week. Oh boy, Temperance. It always gets me when I see a major as the overall. So to me, I kind of feel like if we're talking about you needing to be temperate, and having that nice balance between your thoughts and your emotions, what is it that's throwing you out of whack right now? Right? What is it that, you're needing to use that patience and that balance with, right? And nobody ever wants to hear that, patience, right? And we live in a world of immediate results. So when you see something like that, it's like, I've done that for long enough. But I don't know. I look at that and think, what is going on around you that's throwing you off balance? Because there's a need for it, with this being the overall. Now, in the past, the Nine of Pentacles. So, in the past, feeling secure, right? I don't see this as the gilded cage, so to speak. This, to me, kind of feels like, being secure and being independent. But what is it that's changing now? Why is it that you're needing to maintain this balance here if you're wanting to keep this independence, But to me, it looks good. When you look at temperance and when you talk about moderation, a lot of times things will come around. We throw that shit out the window, right? But what you're pulling from the past is saying that you're good. Oh boy. Okay. So in the present, the Two of Swords. Now, oh man. To me, it's not bad. It's just a little bit difficult. So, and I'm waiting to see what's happening here. I'm always waiting to see what's happening here. The Two of Swords in the present moment is about a choice that needs to be made, the difficult choice, right? And I don't think that you are trying to ignore it, but this is a choice that's going to affect your independence and financial stability, looking at the Nine of Pentacles. So now the reason for temperance is becoming a little bit more clear here. But what is it that you're needing to decide on? Okay. And, I see that as a good thing. So in future conditions, the Four of Swords, to me, I kind of look at this and go, okay, so, rather than making a rash choice, it's really about, you taking some time here to think about what you're going to do, But then the other problem, though, with this is when you're looking at the Four of Swords, I've got to see some kind of action in the outcome here. Otherwise, it's going to be, a bad thing. I mean, the stalemate's just going to continue, right? If you're not willing to, make a choice here, do what you need to, But I don't like the fact that the Nine of Pentacles is what's on the line here, because that's kind of how I see this. With the Four of Swords, it could just be that, you make the choice to take a break, though, too. Your best path to follow, damn. All right. Justice. So what is fair and balanced? Now, this being your advice, it's not about seeking justice. It's about looking at your accountability. So what is it that needs to be corrected? But then not only that, but if you're looking at a choice here that's difficult, what is going to be right and fair and balanced, not just for you, but for other people involved? I really do think that this is something that you're going to have to take your time with, especially with temperance being there. I mean, look, damn, right? Now with the Four of Swords too, though, this could really be about you, like, not wanting to get involved in something anymore. I don't know where I'm getting that from. But, I look at this and sometimes I think, okay, so it's not just about taking a break and needing to think and think clearly. It's also about, the cutoff in communication here. So are you needing to have something exit your life because of it affecting, your independence? My God, if I could talk right. If it's affecting your independence and financial stability, right? But what is going to be fair? What is right, In your environment, strength, needing to pull on your inner strength here to make this difficult choice and do the right thing, with justice being there, because, it's not just about doing what's right for you. This is about what's going to be right for everybody here. Because I look at justice and I think, all right, you're talking about karma coming back around and people being held accountable. I mean, you certainly don't want to be put in that position. But do you, though? Because of that Four of Swords, I'm like, all right. So needing to pull on strength here to make the right choice. And then moving into the Four of Swords, are you, like, closing the door on something here? Or are you just not dealing with it? Damn, Taurus. What the hell? Okay. Your hopes and your fears, the Three of Pentacles. So this could definitely be about a work situation, right? Absolutely. Especially with the Nine of Pentacles coming through and making a difficult choice to possibly do something else. But, needing to really keep yourself balanced here before you make any final choices. Especially if, other people are involved or going to be affected. But with the Three of Pentacles, right, how do we make this work? And this could be about, working with other people, making a choice here to, like, not work with somebody anymore. And what does that mean? How is that going to affect what you're doing? But I look at that as hopes and fears and think, how are we going to make something work? How is this actually going to work? And then coming out, the Page of Cups. So, and that may be where, things need to be a little bit more fair and balanced. So when you're looking at the Page of Cups, I mean, absolutely, whether we're talking about work or relationships here, this to me looks like communication coming through and possibly, an offer, right? Probably an offer for a new job. But I look at the Page of Cups and I think, all right, so these are new emotions surrounding this. And when you're looking at temperance, yeah, you don't want to be, making choices based on things you are feeling, new things that you're feeling, right? And I look at the Four of Swords and, I think that that's probably the right thing to do. And then the Two of Wands, so you don't actually do it, but I think that you're eventually going to start thinking about it here. So to me, it looks like this is one of those things where I think that this is something that you feel good about. But I look at the Four of Wands and I look at the past and I think, if we're talking about you feeling like you have accomplished something here and accomplished like a level of stability, then, I can understand why there's a difficult choice here if it's going to affect this. You've gotten to a point here where you feel like, you've hit the milestone, accomplished something really good, right? But the fact that the Two of Swords is there and looking at the High Priestess and then looking at strength, what is it that you're like, I look at that and I think, first of all, you've got some things that you're feeling that you're keeping to yourself. The other thing, though, too, is because of her being that passive energy, it could just be that, you're trying to follow what your intuition is telling you here. You know, I look at this and I think, watch and see. Watch, wait, and see first, before you make a choice. I don't think that there's anything purposely being withheld, but, I do think that for some of you, you're holding some secrets to yourself here, which is making things more difficult when it comes to making a choice about something coming through that feels and looks good, right? But then with the Two of Wands and looking at the Four of Swords, the thing is it's still there. The emotions surrounding the choice that needs to be made is still there. But the fact that it's going to affect your security and stability is what changes things. Now, this to me looks like, okay, so, I need to plan this. Like, I need to plan this better before I actually make a choice, whether it's, like I said, about work or relationship here. But I go back to that Three of Pentacles and I think, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to make this situation work? But I do think, though, too, with the Three of Pentacles being there and looking at justice, I think that there are other people involved in the choice that you are about to make. And again, it is about what is fair and balanced for all, not just you. Okay, so flourish, right? You need to flourish in what you're doing and what you're working toward. Compassion, needing to have compassion for yourself and others when it comes to making choices. But teach by example. And the example would be you, doing the right thing. Not just for you, but for everyone, right? Wow, Taurus, I don't think that it's not gonna be like one of those things where, how do I put this? Because example, like being made an example of, I don't think that that's the case, but right, like you're going to be able to go back on this and you're going to be able to show somebody else, look, I've been through this too. Let me teach you. Let me show you, right? But I look at compassion, especially with justice and the Two of Swords, and think, compassion for yourself and others. But you have to flourish, right? You have to do what is going to make you feel like you're going to flourish. And then love makes a difference. Love can help heal past hurts and provides a sense of security, self-worth, and importance. So looking at this in terms of relationships, you're looking at a union here that you cannot explain, but there may have been difficulties because I look at, love makes a difference in thinking about past hurt, right? And then acceptance and self-worth, right? And finding that security. Is it a choice here between staying on your own and possibly entering into a relationship where there have been issues, right? But I look at this and I think, this is something you just can't explain. It's like you have to do this, But that love for one another is what's going to heal whatever has happened in the past. It's not a bad reading at all, Taurus. It's not. But I look at this and I think that you need to do what is going to be right for you, but in a way where you feel like things are going to be fair for everyone and not question how something's going to work, right? But there does need to be better planning here. And again, I look back at Temperance and think, just stay calm, right? Stay calm. And don't make any quick choices here. Think about what you're going to do first. All right, Taurus. So, this could very much be about a choice between whether or not to get involved in something new or to stay on your own, right? But I look at this and I think there's something that's coming through that I think makes you feel good, right? There's new feelings surrounding possibly a new offer with the Page of Cups being here. But with the Four of Swords, I don't think that it's something that you have considered acting on before. But now it's like you're being faced with this choice, but there's a need to think about this, like really think about this before you decide to do anything, especially with Temperance being the overall here. You know, now, like I said, for some of you, this could be about work though too, but I look at that Three of Pentacles and I think, how are we going to make this work? How am I going to make this work, right? Now, if there are other people involved, then absolutely with justice, it's needing to make a choice here that is going to be right for you and everybody that's involved. You know, and I look at Temperance and I think that this is probably the best thing for you to be doing right now, right? Not really being too quick to make a choice. And it's not that you're ignoring it or choosing not to deal with it. It's just that there are other things that are involved here. And I think that you're doing the right thing by thinking about planning things better first. You know, but that Page of Cups, I feel, is like really strong. Because for you to be put in this position, it's like, you know, that's got to be something that's really good coming through, that's making you feel this way. Now, looking at the clarifiers, though, you know, I do think that for some of you, I mean, with the Four of Wands, absolutely it makes sense to me. There's a level of stability where you are at right now. So changing that could be the difficult choice, absolutely. But looking at the High Priestess, I think it's both. I think it's about you, you know, needing to know more, but needing to just kind of wait and see, watch and observe, right? But I feel like secrets, though, too, things that you're keeping, especially when it comes to that Page of Cups, right? But it's not like a bad thing. I just think that it's something that, you know, you may have been like secretly wanting, but there are other things that have to be taken into consideration before a choice is made. And again, with the Two of Wands, right? Needing to plan things out a little bit better before you take any action. But I don't see anything bad here. It actually looks really good. Although I do question, you know, why we're looking at a difficult choice that may affect, you know, your security and stability here that, you know, you've worked for, right? You've accomplished something big in your life, and it's like things are about to change based on a choice that you're going to make, you know. But like I said, it could be just a choice between being, you know, alone and then moving into a place where, you know, you're with someone as far as relationship goes. But this could also be, like I said, about work. You know, and especially if you're looking at making a difficult choice to change your job, it could mean like a blow as far as like money. But I don't think that that's it. You know, because I'm not looking at the Five of Pentacles. I look back at that Three of Pentacles and think, how is this going to work? How is this going to work for you where you get to maintain the level of stability that you've already had, right? Now, as far as these two, you know, like I said before with death rights, you know, and for those of you who have lost loved ones, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. But, you know, I look at this and think, you know, especially if you've lost somebody that you love and they've taught you to accept yourself, you know, it may be that you're needing to go back on that. You know, because I look at acceptance and think, you know, looking at things in a distorted way or looking at yourself that way, you know, and it's not doing you any favors. You know, there's nothing wrong with you, right? Now, as far as the soul trees go, you need to be able to flourish. You know, you have to make a choice where you're going to be able to flourish, but then also with compassion, looking at, you know, having compassion for yourself and other people that are going to be involved in the choice that you make. But then I also feel like this is going to be one of those things where later on, you're going to be able to teach somebody else. You're going to be able to look back on this and go, this is what I've experienced. Let me show you. Let me help you, because you know. Now, as far as Whispers of Love, this to me just looks like, you know, it's not bad. It looks like there is an opportunity here for you to heal some issues within relationships, but it's because you just, you know, you can't explain it. You have to be with this person. You know, I look at this and think that there may have been ups and downs, but the union there, right, you can't explain it. You have to be together, so let's work things out, right? And love makes a difference. It's not a bad reading, Taurus. I think that you're going to do the right thing this week, though, by not actually making the choice to, you know, change anything just yet, right? Like there needs to be more thought being put into it before you actually act. But the Page of Cups to me looks like it looks like a really good thing. You know, I don't think that there's anything bad around that at all. I don't think it's about emotional immaturity. I think it's something new that you're feeling, and it may be changing things for you right now.